have entered the premises of Core Confidence Talents. We interview inspirational artists and authors from across the world. Hey everybody, this is Dennis R. Sumlin coming at you here for Core Confidence Talent here on 195 The Globe. On today's program, we're going to be interviewing a singer, rapper, and producer, JorDel Downz from Canada. So we're going to be talking about his life journey into the music business, and we'll be playing some tracks from his latest album, The Getaway. So kick back, relax, get to know JorDel Downz, his life, his music, his style, his message. We're going to play a track from the album and then move right into the interview here on Core Confidence Talent. JorDel Downz, Your Dreams from the album The Getaway.
Stuck in my mind, been searching for something I never thought I'd find. I get the feeling it's been here the entire time. Still I got so far to go. So I'll walk on down this path until I can't stand. Run the roads and high hopes, I don't see a dead end. Oh, how thin your patience can be when you've grown oh so tired of how life moves too slow. So you gotta come on, baby. Grow, come on, fly, ski. You gotta come on, baby. Man, you gotta come on, baby. Grow, come on, fly, ski. You gotta come on, baby. Everybody go. A long while ago, I was told to get used to being different. So no matter where I choose to go, there's hope I'll make a difference. And in every battle for what I stand for, I don't regret a thing, even if I hadn't won. Cause there will always be a crowd full of pretenders, and who you find among those faces might surprise you. It should be easy to keep that advice close to you, the cliche that says stay true to you. So you gotta come on, baby. Grow, come on, fly, ski. You gotta come on, baby. Man, you gotta come on, baby. Grow, come on, fly, ski. You gotta come on, baby. Everybody go.
Okay, we are here at Core Confident Talent on 195 The Globe, and I am talking to a singer and rapper and producer, JorDel Downz. How are you, sir?
I'm great. I'm doing well. Life is good. No complaints.
I'm glad to hear it, and there's no reason to complain because your album is fresh out and on the shelves, so there's no reason to complain, right?
No, it's awesome.
Awesome.
It's great. The response from it is great. Yeah, I'm loving it.
All right. So you are a singer, rapper, and producer as we speak, and so tell us about that. What type of music do you do? What kind of production do you do? Give us an overview on what you're currently doing.
Well, I mainly do hip hop music, but I always like to branch out. As with the whole singing album, I like to produce more than just hip hop and R&B. I got involved with a couple other artists who were into rock and all that. I ended up producing and engineering in that for a little bit. I just like music. I enjoy music. I enjoy most genres of music. If it sounds good to me, then it sounds good.
All right. So hip hop, R&B. What other kinds of music do you feel like you are good at producing or performing other than those two?
I just kind of stick to those genres of music. Like I like doing hip hop and R&B. When I was in high school, I experimented musically. I sang for a hard rock band. I sang for a punk band. Because I also listen to those genres of music as well. But I find that hip hop and R&B is what I'm most comfortable doing.
Oh, all right, cool. And so before we get further deep into your music of today, let's go back to the beginning, right? So where are you from? Where are you from? Let's start with where you from.
I'm from a town, Sudbury, Ontario, Canada. It's about 3.5 to 4 hours north of Toronto. So it's my home. It's where I'm from. It's they call it where we're at. They call it the Canadian Shield because there's a lot of it was a mining town. So there's a lot of rock over there, and it's one of those cities where it gets real cold in the winter, but then it gets really warm in the summer. So it's
Sudbury, Ontario. Okay.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of people think it's cold all the time, but no, it's when the winter comes around, we're all bundled up, and then the summer, it's like you got people complaining about the heat because it gets that hot. So
yeah, summertime you actually get above 70 degrees. Ooh.
Yeah.
I always hear my friend in Buffalo. I'm like, oh well, it's May. You might actually reach 32 degrees.
Yeah. 32 degrees.
Yeah, there's a little Buffalo humor there. But so what got you interested in this music? Like way back, you're a kid growing up in Sudbury. So what transitions you into music instead of something else like, beating up toy army men or something?
I grew up in a musical family. My grandma sang in the church choir. My mom would sing. My sister, I have two older sisters. The oldest of the two, she sang as well. I tried, but it was one of those. I was one of those people. It was like I got into hip hop at an early age. Like my sisters, boyfriends and friends and whatever, they would have. They would bring by a lot of hip hop music and they listen to hip hop. That's kind of how I got into it. And I'm like, man, everybody in my family is singing and that's cool, but I want to rap. Nobody's rapping. Nobody's rapping in my family, so I want to rap.
I want to rap. All right. So when did you first start doing anything with music? Like, were you in any kind of school bands, or did you just kind of start doing things on your own? Like, when did you first start kind of messing around with things?
There's like, I was younger, I was just kind of rapping along with people's tracks. And then eventually I got into like more than just hip hop. And that was around when I was going to, I went to a blind school in Brantford. So I started doing like talent shows and stuff, but I wasn't rapping at the time. I was singing. Like I would sing. I got in, like I said, I was getting into other genres of music. So I got into, maybe I was like 10 or 11 when I ended up hanging out with, some buddies who listened to like rock and like metal and stuff like that. And I thought that was cool. So I started singing at talent shows and doing whatever. But, I got older and, I just switched back to rap again. And at this point, I was still kind of like screwing around with it. And me and my buddy had this little rap duo, and, we recorded right across the street, actually. We knew this guy who lived right across the street from us. And we'd go to his house and record a bunch of like rap demos and all that stuff. And it was cool. I remember doing like I was like a punchline rapper, so I did this track. And I was a huge Mortal Kombat fan. So I was like, how many crazy punchlines, could I do in this track over and over an Alchemist beat? Because I love Alchemist beats. How many bars can I spit and put in like metaphors to all these like Mortal Kombat characters' names and stuff? And it was pretty crazy. So that's kind of in the beginning. And then I moved a lot. I moved around a lot, like from genre to genre, because after that, there was the whole, rock thing again, where I was like, I wanted to sing in rock bands. And when that was done, I was like, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna stick to the whole urban thing. And that was around the same time I was like, okay, I actually want to do music. Like, I was like, okay, I really want to do what it takes to be involved in music and have it, full-time thing, have it as a full-time thing.
Okay.
That was, and that was, because all this was in my teens sort of thing. I was about 19 when I decided I wanted to really do it.
Oh, okay. So you're 19 years old. I'm legal now. 19 years old. I'm legal. I can drink. I can do whatever I want now. Although, I don't know, 18, 20, I get confused when the drinking age. Anyway, so you're 19 over there, I guess, in Canada.
Yeah.
So you're 19. You decided that you wanted to do music. Back then, you were talking about being into rap and everything like that. So when did you record your first track? Like, not just rapping to other people. Your first track, when you just say, "Hey, listen to this. This is the track I'm on."
The first, like, what do you mean by like the first track? Like when I decided to be really serious with it, or?
Yeah, I mean, we all, play around when we were younger. We record ourselves on tape, whatever. But like the first track when you decided to really be serious and try to make a push for this, like what was that first track?
The track it was called I don't remember the chorus, but it was called Sight to the Blind. And really that I remember saying that in the chorus, and then the rest was just, more punchlines and like, I was kind of a little bit big into the whole battle rap thing. So that's what I had in the verses. It was over like a Static Selector beat.
Okay. Sight to the Blind was your first serious song that you're putting out there. So when you started putting out these rap songs, what was it like for you? How did you feel when people finally got a chance to listen to your song? What was the responses you were getting? How was that experience?
The response was cool. this was when I started going to the name J Downz, and the response was cool. You know, they're like, oh, you should do more tracks like this, and you know, I really like this. But eventually, I kind of started to like not like it because I'm a perfectionist, and you know, it was cool for a minute, but then I was like, no, this isn't good enough for me. I got to be better.
So when you say you got to be better in the kind of songs you were doing at that time.
Yeah, I was just kind of like, yeah, this is all right, but I got to make better music. You know, it's not good enough for me. It might be good enough for them, but it's not good enough for me.
So when did you start getting dissatisfied with the music you were putting out? Like, were you doing it for a couple of years before you said, my goodness? Or how long did it take?
It took a little bit, but then eventually looking back on the tracks I did, and I was like, it's okay. Yeah, this is all right, you know. I just feel, you know, I just really felt like that, like I said, I could record a lot better music. I just needed to really take my time with like maybe revising some tracks, you know, and a lot of people didn't really agree with me, right? But that's just how I felt.
Okay, all right. So we're gonna come back to the rap at some point soon, but I want to also pivot over to your production. Like, when did you start producing? Did you produce for yourself? Did you produce for others? You know, what's going on behind the control panel there?
Okay, well, maybe about a year and a half after I was recording, you know, all those random demos that I eventually started to hate. I ended up, because I was still going to the blind school, going from Sudbury to Brantford and back to Sudbury. You know, I was only in Sudbury for the weekends and all that. I eventually graduated high school, and I went to college in London, Ontario, Canada, which is about maybe 2.5 hours west of Toronto. So I ended up picking up a keyboard. And another thing is I ended up meeting a good friend of mine now. He's a good friend of mine, and he was involved in, he had his own studio. So I'd always come by there and just kind of soak in as much knowledge as I could. And then I'd go home and I'd start making beats, and I didn't really know how to mix. So I'd just make beats and upload them. It's just to get some feedback.
All right. And what was the feedback you got, with or without ketchup? Yuck, yuck, yuck. What was the feedback you got?
It was good for the most part. Like, people were like, oh, you know, the bass is too loud, or, you know, you could do a little bit more with that sample, or, you know, add this to the drums. But for the most part, you know, the feedback was pretty good. I've had some people do the critiquing, and then I had other people be like, you know, I play this one beat, and I could have sworn I heard, oh, this sounds like a DJ Premier beat, and I'm like, really? That's crazy. I don't think that sounds like a DJ Premier beat, but I appreciate that. That's crazy. You know, it was great though. I mean, I like to like kind of show off a little bit, like with my, because I learned a little bit in music, like not like music theory, I mean. So I tried to apply that as much to my beats, you know, to make them a little bit more complicated and all that. That eventually went out of the window, but that's, you know, I kind of did that a little bit in the beginning.
Mm-hmm. All right. So during your rapping and producing and so forth, especially, you know, that genre, production and rap, that invites collaboration with a whole world of people. So have you worked with anyone famous or otherwise worked with anybody that you really enjoyed working for? Or working with, whatever.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of beats that I made that I really couldn't see myself rapping on, but out of the few beats that I could, I ended up doing a track with Joel Ortiz about maybe 5 years ago. Joel Ortiz from Slaughterhouse. It was actually pretty cool. Like, I got to chop it up with him for a little bit. He actually came by to the studio. The studio was called Streetscape Sounds. Actually, from the same guy that I ended up linking up with in college, sort of thing. That track, I just kind of put that out as a single, and people kind of went nuts. Like, oh my God, you rap with Joel Ortiz, and I knew a lot of Slaughterhouse fans around there too. So it was a little bit crazy.
All right. So have you ever put out any albums, like formal albums or anything with your material on it? But not the album today. I'm talking about back then. What was your first album or mixtape or collaboration project that you put out?
First mixtape was called Win or Die. And it was a pretty dope, a lot of people thought it was dope. I still think, for me in 2013, it was pretty dope. But that was my first mixtape, and it had a little bit of everything. It had tracks with the bars that I always liked doing. It had the more serious contemplating life tracks. It had the party tracks. It had the trippy smoke out to this sort of vibes. It had everything on it.
Okay.
For the most part, it had kind of this. It had. I was into more like synthy sort of 808 type beats back then. But there was always. I was very careful about the beat selection because I didn't. There was most beats kind of sounded the same, so it really took me a while to really dig through all these beats to find the ones that I wanted, and then. After that, the rest is history.
Okay, all right. So, you rap and you produce, but at some point, you made a bit of a transition from rapping to singing. So, what was that about? Why did you switch? What went on? What's going on? Why'd you stop rapping, guy?
Well, after 2015, I after all my health issues, I put out Still Alive, still a rap project. 2018, I put on iTunes. I put actually my first release on iTunes, Prologue, The End of a Beginning, which had songs from Win or Die, Still Alive, and maybe a couple other that I didn't release. And then I just 2018 was a weird year for me musically. I mean, there were just things about the whole rapper thing that was kind of bothering me a little bit. And so, it just kind of not by the end of 2018, maybe like close to the end of 2018, I was just kind of like, what am I doing sort of thing, like I just kind of had to stop and look at what I was doing, being a rapper and doing shows as a rapper and doing, all this stuff. And I was like, well, you know what? I have all of these, I'm not I'm not going to quit rap, but I'm kind of sick of doing it right now. So I have all these other instrumentals that I'm not going to rap to. So I might as well just get working and get working on this project called The Getaway. And it felt great. There was a different, I wasn't under, I put myself under a lot of pressure in general, but it was different. Like, I wasn't under a lot of pressure recording this album. It was something new to me. It was a breath of fresh air. And that's what I really liked about it.
All right. So singing seemed to fit you better, or you felt more relaxed, and it was a breath of fresh air versus the rapping where, I don't know, you felt like it didn't fit you anymore. So was there something specific that changed to get you to say, I've been doing rapping for a while, I'm kind of tired of it, let me do something different?
I just felt like in rap, like I felt at the time it was hard for me to really talk about my life the way I did on The Getaway. And I just thought, okay, then I might as well just, sing about it. I've made a couple of positive changes in 2018. And those changes that I made, it didn't really reflect how I felt with like the older like rap songs I was doing. It got to a point where it's like I don't even feel comfortable performing these songs right now at shows because like they're dope. I love those songs, but doesn't really fit me as much anymore.
All right. So let's speaking of The Getaway, let's talk about The Getaway. It's an album there, and you've moved from rapping to singing, and put out The Getaway, and you just indicated that you had an easier time, talking about your life through singing it versus rapping it. So what was the experience like making The Getaway, and what aspects of your life does that album reflect?
It reflects just the like I mentioned before, the changes that I had to make in certain times of my life. I'm not it's really hard to explain. I just, at the beginning of 2018 was like a definite like low for me. And like when I say low, it was a low, it was at a point where it's like, okay, what can I do? I felt like I've done everything to make an improvement, and I don't know how it happened. It's just I got these opportunities. I got different opportunities, and I just went for them. And the next thing I'm at where I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to explain this to you. It's like it's so hard to explain, but yeah, just I started going out more and like just meeting people and just starting to be more comfortable with who I am as like a person. And I think that was really the key to get me out of that sort of like depressive sort of like state of mind.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. So you started to, so in other words, 2018 was sort of a transition year for you. You decided to stop doing one thing primarily and do another, and you started to become a better person and express your life through song instead of rap. And so, yes, 2018 definitely sounds like a key year for you in your musical development and life development in general. So that's what's up. So this album, The Getaway, is there any special story behind the title of the album, or is just something that you just thought of? Let me just call it The Getaway.
It's a good album name. That's one reason why I chose it. But literally The Getaway, like I was like, okay, at first it was just like, okay, I'm going to record an album called The Getaway. I didn't really think about it too much. I was just, it's a dope album title. I'm just going to go with that. And the more songs I recorded, the more I realized I was kind of telling a story. So, I just kind of thought of how 2018 was, where, I was sort of making that transition. So eventually I started, I arranged the tracks like that, where it was like from dark to light sort of deal. It starts off with No Good For Me, and that's at a point where it's like I'm doing the partying, the drinking, the smoking, and all that. And, it's just trying to live like a rock star sort of deal. And and at the same time, like now I'm looking back at it as like, yeah, I did it, but it got boring. That's what, and then it keeps, going into a Hard to Smile. That's kind of what I got from it. I just wasn't happy. Humankind was another, it just kind of continued that on, like, yeah, you know what, like, I can't deal with these people anymore. Like it was almost like the Humankind song. It was almost like, okay, me saying that, having this opinion that, people ain't shit, People ain't shit. But at the same time, it's like, well, yeah, but at the end of Humankind, it's like, well, people could say that, but, that's not everybody, you got to reach out at one point at some time. And after that, The Getaway and Have a Nice Flight, and Your Dreams, it's like, okay, you feel like that, but this is what you got to do to sort of make that transition, and it keeps going from that.
Okay. So we'll be dropping in some tracks from that album during this interview. So what would you tell us about a song on there that sticks out? A song that means something special to you, or a song that has a message that you want people to hear from the album?
I feel like every song kind of has a message, so it's a bit of a challenge, but I think a good one for this would be I really like the song "The Chase." The lyric structure is a little bit. The lyrics are different from a lot of the other songs on the album, but it's kind of like this person who he's kind of looking at this other individual, where it's like it's almost like judging them on like how they're living, sort of deal. But they're trying to be successful as well, but he's doing it a different way, sort of thing. People are gonna do whatever, but you just got to do you.
Still believe
the chase. That's cool. So, what's another song on there that really like kind of stands out? A song that you said, "Hey, listen to when you hear the album. Yeah, I want you to hear the album, but really listen to this track." So, what's another one?
I'd say "Spark My Soul."
Spark my soul. Spark, set me on fire. Oh, I'm burning. Oh, so what? Why should we hear that song?
Honestly, partly because that song got a lot of people's attention. Anybody that I showed maybe 3 songs from the Getaway to. And Spark My Soul was the one that really made people listen. And it's a laid back, sort of jazzy, melodic track, but there's just something about it. There's just something about the smooth, melodic vocals over a 90s style boom bap beat that people haven't heard in a little bit. And it's just, it's enjoyable. And and it's also a bit of a love song. People love songs. So
people love songs. I'm going to have hearts dancing out of my head after I hear the song. Oh.
Trip to the city, places and faces passing through my memory, and I'll get lost in the crowd again. But it doesn't matter, I stand out in this moment, paranoid from all the cars passing. All the cars are passing by. Everybody's watching, I swear I'm alright. I'm jaded cause the boredom I've been used to for so long. In my own world till I stumbled into someone that can spark my soul. Oh baby, something there to remind us that we should let things go. Oh baby, before we know it, the clouds in the sky turn into sunshine. Into sunshine. She's the perfect distraction from all the crazies with their antics and their chaotic ways. One more excuse or reason to step away from the crowd with her. If all those eyes we pass by are judging, if all those eyes we pass on by, everybody's watching, I swear we're alright. Wish I could keep cool cause I'm not used to this at all. But we'll take on this world just us two. Someone that can spark my soul. Oh baby, something there to remind us that we should let things go. Oh baby, before we know it, the clouds in the sky turn into sunshine. Oh, we'll be fine. I'm just trying to take my time, take my time. Someone that can spark my soul. Oh baby, something there to remind us that we
track from the album. So what's another track that we should be anticipating listening to?
I'd have to say Silver Lining.
Silver Lining. I didn't know linings had colors. All right. So what's the thing behind Silver Lining?
It's just sometimes you just got to really sit back and just really take it in, look around, see where you are, see how, be happy with how far you've come, and just really appreciate life.
Now take a look at this crazy life we're living. Now who would have known it would be like this? Yeah. I got a story for you every time we kick it. Now who wouldn't wish for a life like this? Escape from the normal, just trying to live a little, 'cause we are only getting older. So could you do this for me? Could you do this for me? Now things are good, so it's a go. There ain't no point in moving slow. Their lips ain't closed, still they can't sink this boat. We stay afloat, the type of life that I don't mind living. I'm only trying to beat the time limit. I start to see the silver lining in it. I heard a while ago it's my decision. Now everything's okay, yeah I get it. I know I'm running out of time. Get up because I gotta get it. It only matters if your mind is in it. Now take a look at this crazy life we're living. And only for a while it's been like this. Just living, living. And I'ma try to pack my bags as light as I can, because a lot of times I wind up tripping, yeah. Well, I try not to beat myself up over every single mistake that I make. Because things are good, so it's a go. There ain't no point in moving slow. Their lips ain't closed, still they can't sink this boat. We stay afloat, the type of life that I don't mind living. I'm only trying to beat the time limit. I start to see the silver lining in it. I heard a while ago it's my decision. Now everything's okay, yeah I get it. I know I'm running out of time. Get up because I gotta get it. It only matters if your mind is in it.
I had to respect myself, love myself, and direct myself before I was ever able to love anybody else. That was a long road, but now that I'm on top, all my dreams are a go. I'm bubbling over with talent and oozing with charisma. And I would recommend to you to use this formula. More self-confidence, less dysphoria. I'm on top now and there's nobody better. I tried to tell you, the silver lining is eternal and forever.
The type of life that I don't mind living. I'm only trying to beat the time limit. I start to see the silver lining in it. I heard a while ago it's my decision. Now everything's okay, yeah I get it. I know I'm running out of time. Get up because I gotta get it. It only matters if your mind is in it.
These songs are on The Getaway, and for people who are listening to your core confident talent as we go through the songs, how can they get The Getaway? Where can we find it at? Where it be at?
Well, you can go to Downz Music, that's DOWNZmusic.bandcamp.com, or you can go to my official website, Downz Music, spelled the same way, downzmusic.com/shop. And you'll find The Getaway there. You'll find my old releases. You'll even find some T-shirts and stuff like that.
So wait, so there's T-shirts. Does the T-shirts have you on it or a logo on it, so someone can have you on their body?
It has the JD logo I also have T-shirts, other Downz T-shirts that say "Respect the Vision" on it, and it has like bunch of stick figures like walking with like canes and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. It's one of my most popular T-shirts selling at shows anyway. So.
Oh, okay. So your T-shirt is draped over many bodies right now.
Yep.
All right. Nice. All right. So what are you going to do after the Getaway? Is there any future plans? Have you been thinking about another album yet? I know the Getaway just came out, but you know how things will go. You know, once the one thing is out the door, we're starting to form the next thing. So what's going on in the future, the near future for you?
Well, I'm definitely recording more music, trying to finish out more projects. I mean, at this point, I'm just recording hip hop tracks and R&B tracks, and just kind of seeing, you know, which project gets finished first, and then going from there. I'm just kind of going with the flow right now.
Oh, okay. Do you have what about shows? Any shows coming up? You're going to be singing or dancing or juggling, and any shows coming up?
Well, as of right now, I have a couple of shows coming up, just my hometown here in Sudbury. So I'll be opening for an artist from another province in Canada on the 23rd. And then the 31st, I'll be doing my first headlining show. I'm pretty excited about that one. So, from there, that's about it right now. I haven't been doing shows in Toronto for a bit, so that's kind of what I'm aiming at doing right now. I'm just whatever opportunity comes my way, I take that opportunity, go from there. That's my mindset right now.
All right. Well, ain't that nice? Your website again, downzmusic.com?
Yes.
Is that Downz with a Z?
Downz with a Z, DOWNZ.
That's right, downzmusic.com, and you can find The Getaway on there, a spanking album there with him singing, and then other older projects as well. So that's great stuff. So what is your message to people? What is your main message that you want to deliver through all your creative endeavors, your music and everything? What is your primary message as a brand, as a person, as a rapper, as a man, as a fill in the blank?
My message, well, try to enjoy life as much as you can. You know, if you're, you know, everybody gets underestimated. What matters is, you know, can you prove them wrong and, you know, improve yourself, you know, you know, just things like that, you know, I wake up every morning going, how can I improve?
Wake up every morning saying, how could I improve?
What could I do today that will better myself as a human being? That, you know, what can I do to, you know, even if it, you know, I'll help other people, you know, just things like that. I mean, I'm not good with this whole message thing. I'm working on it.
Well, don't be ashamed of your message now. One of the, you know, you did do a good thing by coming on the Core Confident Talent program here and talking with me about your album and your music and your career. And that's one thing you did to move forward. So you fulfilled your daily quota of self-improvement.
Absolutely.
There you go. Downzmusic.com here on Core Confident Talent. I thank you for coming on here to the program to talk about your album and your talent and your message, and let more people know about your amazing feats of musical talent.
Yes. Thank you.
You've been listening to Core Confident Talent here on 195 The Globe. I am Dennis R. Sumlin, your host here. We've been talking to singer, rapper, producer JorDel Downz from Canada. So stay tuned for another Core Confident Talent Spotlight as we preview artists and authors from around the world.